I'm Allison and today I'm gonna share the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajama. So first, what happened is this movie is surrounded around the events of the Holocaust during World War II in Germany from 1941 to 1945. So during World War II, the Nazis of Germany, under the control and rule of Adolf Hitler, who is the dictatorship at the time, systematically murdered some 6 million European Jews, around 2/3 of the Jewish population of Europe, from 1941 to 1945. So why did it happen? The Holocaust all happened due to the leader Adolf Hitler's anti-Semitism, which is the hatred of the Jews. According to Hitler, the Jews were an inferior race, an alien threat to German racial purity and community. So his goal was to create this superior white race to dominate and conquer the world. So this is a photo of Hitler and his soldiers. So what happened during the Holocaust? So the Nazis set up this kind of concentration camp in which the laborer in there, the prisoners, they were starved, they were tortured and often worked to death. So at Auschwitz alone, more than 2 million people were murdered in a process resembling a large-scale industrial operation. There are a lot of Jews and even non-Jewish people working and living in the concentration camp. However, only the Jews were gassed to death with the toxic poisonous gas, and thousands of others died of starvation or disease. So this is some picture from the Holocaust. These are the prisons, the starvation, the death. They're like people lying around here. This is the children. The children. Okay, so the aftermath. After liberation, a lot of Jewish people, they were scared and they had this fear to return back to their home because of the anti-Semitism, which is the hatred of Jews that still persisted in parts of Europe and the trauma they had suffered. So after liberation, it was not a good life for them. They still have to suffer. So the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajama tells this story. It is the story of the boy named Bruno. He is German. He was born in this wealthy German family in which his father was a commandant who was loyal to Hitler. Born and raised in Berlin, he has a happy and cheerful childhood in Berlin until his dad got promoted, and they all have to move to this countryside place, to this house really close to the concentration camp. So in this new life, Bruno is super lonely. He doesn't have any friends. He no longer go to school, so he gotta like just entertain himself. So if you can see, so this is his front yard of his house. Behind his head right here is gonna be like a door. When he finds this door, is go to his backyard, and then his backyard he can find an outhouse, and then in the outhouse there's like a window that he can climb over to the forest, and then through the forest he's gonna escape to the concentration camp where he wanna find friends. However, at the time, Bruno doesn't know anything about the concentration camps. He actually thought that was the farm, and those people wearing like the striped pajama, actually uniform, is the farmers. So this is when he escaped from his backyard, like our house, and came to this concentration camp and meet this friend. His name is Shmuel, and he's also 8-year-old. And this is Bruno's mom, who's also in ignorance of what happened in the concentration camp and about her husband's job. Over time, Bruno and Shmuel they started to bond, and they have formed a forbidden friendship because he's non-Jewish and he's Jewish. This is at the end of the movie when Shmuel's dad got missing, and Bruno wanted to help Shmuel find his dad. That's why he's wearing this like prisoner uniform and all that stuff, so he can like come in the concentration camp and help find the dad. However, unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to start finding the Shmuel's father when they like pushed into this gas chamber by the Nazis, and the Nazi soldier just gassed them and everything, like they all died. This is when his dad and mom found out, and they were just like crushed. So talking about the movie, what the movie got right and resemble the history is that the uniforms of the camp workers, so they all wear this kind of striped pajamas, like actually it's like uniform. So the second thing is the brutality of the concentration camps. The prisoners in there, they were starved, they will like work, and they'll like a lot of people die. The third thing is the gas chamber in which they're like pushed into this kind of basement, and then the Nazi soldier, they will just come and then they release this kind of toxic gas and everybody just die, which lead to the mass murder over here. The next thing is the inhumane treatment towards the Jews. So in the movie, it like demonstrate really well the inhumane treatment toward Jewish people and the loyalty to Hitler. One example is Bruno's father, who works for Hitler and like really like loyal to him. So for this movie, for entertainment, I would give it 3 out of 5 because first thing is like a really sad and tragic story. However, I still think this is like a good recommendation for everyone to have in like the must-watch list. Again, this movie is not based on real story history, but it's a good historical fiction. It works as a good demonstration of the Holocaust, of the labor camps, and how the Jews were treated during the Holocaust. For historical accuracy, I'll give it 3.5 out of 5. First thing is because in reality, the Nazis would immediately execute Shmuel because Shmuel, he cannot work, he cannot do the work, like he always like go out to the side and then like hanging around like play with himself and all that stuff. So obviously he would be executed. So second thing is that the fence that's separating the boys would have been electric, preventing the interaction, which would mean that their friendship would never ever happen at all, like existed at all. The third thing is that Bruno and his mom, or like his sister, would not be in ignorance of everything that happened because it was just obvious. Like at this time, everyone know how the Jews were treated and like there's no way that they don't know about it. However, so with all this element, it should be 3 out of 5. However, I still did like give it like 3.5 out of 5 because all this element actually greatly contributed to the theme of friendship in this movie, which is like the main theme of the whole thing. Thank you.